This particular function is widely used for searching tables to find similar names, fields, or identifiers, and retrieving corresponding values within a specified range. Essentially, when dealing with a large table, even larger than the one shown here, VLOOKUP allows us to enter an order number, discount code, or any desired input. It then automatically scans and searches through the table to fetch the relevant data pertaining to the given order number. For instance, let's consider an example where we want to determine the age of Mel Schlanger when he won his medals. We can search through the specified columns using VLOOKUP with an index of 2 and false as the last parameter. I'll explain the details further shortly. So, when we apply this, we can see that it searches through the designated column and informs us that Mel was 25 years old when he achieved his medals. The usefulness of VLOOKUP becomes evident when you imagine scenarios like retrieving the price of an item from a large database based on the order number, such as Order 20 or Order 10,264. This function is often employed by individuals, accountants, financial experts, and marketers who need to extract one or two specific pieces of data from extensive databases but might not know the exact location or timing. Searching through tens of thousands of rows of data using manual methods like Ctrl+F can be cumbersome, which is why VLOOKUP offers a more efficient solution. The objective of this lecture is to facilitate proficiency in using the powerful VLOOKUP function. The VLOOKUP formula can be divided into 4 distinct parts. Firstly, we have the search key, which represents the value we are seeking. For instance, in our example, we used Mel Schlanger. If you were searching for an order number, it could be something like 10,003 or any other specific value. Next, we specify the range within which we want to search. For instance, you might want to search within the range of cells A2 to E21. This range indicates where the data is located and where VLOOKUP will retrieve the desired information. The next component is known as the index. This part can be a bit challenging and often causes confusion. The index indicates the column number that contains the value we want to retrieve. For instance, if we want to obtain the age of Ian Thorpe, we would use column B, which corresponds to the index value of 2. Similarly, if we wanted to retrieve the closing ceremony date, we would use column E, which corresponds to the index value of 5. The last part of the formula is called isSorted. This aspect can also be a bit intricate. Essentially, you inform VLOOKUP whether the data in the range is sorted in ascending order. If the data is not sorted, you would specify false. However, if the data is sorted in ascending order, you would indicate true. It's important to note that the VLOOKUP function performs an approximate match by default rather than an exact match. In the given example, it will only return data where the name Ian Thorpe exactly matches the input. If we set the isSorted parameter to true, it would provide a close match, but it may not necessarily give us the most accurate result. Let's see what happens when we input this formula. As a result, we obtain the closing ceremony date, which is October 1st, 2000. Now, if we change the search key to someone like Matt Target, you'll notice that we didn't extend the column down far enough initially, let's say, up to E100, to ensure we capture the data. Let's adjust the range accordingly. Now, when we try to find Matt Target, the return value is August 24th, 2008. Indeed, the example demonstrates the usefulness of VLOOKUP and how it can assist in sorting through and extracting relevant and interesting data from a dataset. In essence, VLOOKUP scans the first column of a specified range for a given key, such as Matt Target, and then returns the value of a specified cell in the corresponding row. When we enter the formula and press Enter, VLOOKUP starts searching from the top of the range until it finds the matching key, in this case, Matt Target. Once the match is found, it then retrieves the value from the specified column, in this case, 5 columns over, and returns that value. This is why we obtain the desired date value in the example. This process involves searching for an exact match and then specifying the desired value based on the column index. By utilizing VLOOKUP, we can efficiently search through data until a match is found and retrieve specific information associated with that match. Let me demonstrate how to address these inquiries. We'll begin with the first question, which asks for the number of gold medals won by Wang Hao. To do this, we'll input his name as the search key. For the range, we can extend it from A2 to G200, encompassing sufficient data. The index will be set to the fourth column, 1234. Since the data is not sorted, we'll specify false. As a result, we find that Wang Hao has won 11 gold medals. Now, for the following lookup, we can simply copy this cell and make the necessary modifications to continue the process. Instead of searching for Wang Hao, we are now searching for Mark, anyone of the same age, but specifically for silver medals. This requires us to modify the formula slightly. We will set the index to 5 for the fifth column and use a value of 0 to indicate silver medals. Let's verify if this is correct, and indeed, it is accurate. Moving on, our next task is to determine the age of Grant Hackett. We can use the same formula structure by copying it down and replacing the search key with Grant Hackett's name. His age corresponds to index 2 or column 2. Again, we specify false since the column is not sorted. Let's check if the result is correct, and there we have it. Everything appears to be in order. We'll proceed to find the total number of medals won by Ryan Lochte. Let's copy the formula down and modify it accordingly. We'll search for Ryan Lochte using the search key. Since we want to determine the total number of medals, we can set the index to 7. However, it seems there might be an issue as the data for Lochte extends beyond the current range. Upon review, it appears that the range we copied the formula from only goes down to row 203. To include Lochte's data, we should extend the range further down. Let's adjust the range to go down to row 230 by changing it to G230. By doing so, we should obtain the accurate result for the total medals won by Ryan Lochte. Upon evaluating the data, it is apparent that Ryan Lochte has won a total of 5 medals. As seen in the VLOOKUP function, it returns the first exact match it finds, resulting in the accurate count of 5 medals. In the absence of this condition, it would return 4 as the result. To demonstrate this, I have briefly shown an example without the exact match condition, where the function indeed returns 4. Is a function that functions similarly to VLOOKUP. While VLOOKUP stands for vertical lookup, instructing the function to search for a value by going down a specific column, LOOKUP operates in the opposite direction. It directs the function to traverse across a row and find the corresponding value in a specified column. Consequently, VLOOKUP is particularly valuable when dealing with sorted columns that contain categories or titles. In such cases, data is arranged with athletes listed in one column, ages in another, and countries in yet another. However, with LOOKUP, the approach is reversed, making it ideal for horizontal searches across rows. LOOKUP proves to be highly advantageous when dealing with data organized in rows rather than columns. To illustrate this further, let's consider an example where the syntax remains identical to that of VLOOKUP. The objective is to locate a specific value. In this scenario, we specify the range in which the lookup should occur, which differs from column-based searches. So, in our case, we aim to find the price associated with order number 10249. Instead of indicating the column, we will specify the row as the index for the search. In our specific case, it appears that the desired information is located in row 2. Therefore, we will indicate this row as the index for the search. Since the data is unsorted, we will set the last parameter to false. Consequently, we successfully obtain the value of 1860 for order number 10249. Similarly, if we were to search for order 10251, the result would be 1210, as it retrieves the data accordingly. Thus, LOOKUP and VLOOKUP function in a comparable manner. I encourage you to familiarize yourselves with each lookup function and to practice using VLOOKUP once again.
So, as we wrap up this final video, we want to leave you with a message. Keep spreading positivity, chasing your dreams, and embracing the beauty of life. Together, we can make the world a better place. See you in another video. Love and peace.